afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and you can see it is just a gorgeous winter day. It's actually solstice today, shortest day of the year, and we've got 3 days of equal length, and then those days start getting longer again. That's why the solstice is my favourite time of year. So anyways, I thought I would do a little bit of an outdoor catch-up to let you know what's been going on and some of the changes that have been taking place. And but first we're going to take a little ride down the trail. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Look out, doggy. Look out, doggy. It's a pretty bumpy trail, and well, as you'll see, there is very little flat ground, and so I had to weave my way through the trees. Did a lot of clearing. Any wood that you see on the side of that trail, it was probably cut by me to make way, because if we're going to have a couple of campsites down here, I want to be able to put a trailer down with this ATV, and a couple of wet spots. But yeah, this will be a big loop, and right now it ends in a frying pan, but it will eventually be a big loop. And but it is fun, and I don't think we're going to have a lot of snow this year, so I'm hoping that this trail can stay open year round. Yeah, this was a tricky area, a lot of bush came down in this area. Now once this trail gets packed down, it will be a lot better. You know, you have to remember that nothing has travelled on this ground ever before. So just the weight of the ATV and usage, of course the animals will start to pack it down as they start to realise that there is an easy path through the forest. And here we are, the last little downturn, down to base camp. Anyway, I figure I've done about maybe a half a kilometre, 3/4 of a kilometre down through the bush now, and yes, just finishing off the last little section. Okay, so here we are at the bottom end of the trail, and I have put in a small blind here, as you can see. Just a simple covering, a table so you can set things down, and a bench. And because deer do come down here, my trail cam has been set up down here for quite a while, and I've got some good footage of deer, but this is a great place to come and spot the wildlife. And I've tried to make it as natural a setting as possible. There was just a nice little cluster of trees here to build. I just cleared out the center, and it was the perfect place for a blind. And this ATV has been so much fun. I found out a little bit more about it. It's a full-time four-wheel drive. I was trying to find the four-wheel button on here, but you don't need to. It's just got high, low and reverse down there. And that piece of rope, this is what you call a high-tech fix. Now you see that little gear lever where that rope is tied to? Okay, now take a look at my boot. There is no way I'm going to get my toe underneath that little lever to, you do 3 gears up, and so you have to get underneath there. Now they've moved, in the new ones, the gear lever is here, so you can actually get at it, but I was thinking of welding a piece of metal on there. I had all kinds of ideas, and I went down to the dealership and talked to my old buddy Paul, and he said, oh, what the guys do is they tie a piece of rope around there and just tie it on the handlebar and leave a little bit of slack so you can push it down, and there you go, you got your gear lever. There you go. Easy fix. Now the reason I put the blind down here is, as you can see, for water. Look at that crazy dog. Doesn't feel the cold at all. It's like it's minus 4 or 5 today. Anyway, you can see that this water is flowing, and so I believe it comes from a spring up there on the hill somewhere, and we'll see whether it flows all year round. But where there's water, there will be animals. And you know, it's funny, you see there the 2 marks in the snow. You'd swear to God that a vehicle, some kind of big dozer, had come down here at some point. And because again, when you turn around, like I just cleared up a little bit of the track there, that section right up there where Jazz is right now taking a pee. No shame, these animals. Yeah, that was pretty well cleared like it is. But I'm at a bit of a stalemate here. I don't know which way to go. The creek that I'm trying to get down to is about 150 yards in that direction. And I don't know, I think I'm going to have to go this way through because of this, well, the water running through here. And when you get up onto the other side, well, I'll show you in a second. Okay, so this trail here, and again, it looks like you'd think a tractor or a dozer or something had gone through there. Nice big wide path. But anyway, that actually just leads up to a cliff ledge with about a 10-foot drop, so you've either got to go left or right. And up here, I don't know if you can see how it looks a lot brighter in there just behind those trees. That there is an open swamp, and it rings this piece of land right over there, and so that's very wet up there too. So yes, I think I'm going to have to find some way across over by that river and cut down that way. But once we get through this little low point here, it's just over that brow. You go over there, down, up and over another one, and there it is, a beautiful little creek. And I'll tell you, for a year 2000 ATV, she sure starts pretty good and she sounds pretty good. Don't have any problems there. Anyway, I can certainly see what an unbelievable piece of equipment the ATV is. I mean, especially the original designs were awful. They were 3-wheelers, I don't know if you remember them, but this thing is just an absolute workhorse. You can see that I've got gas and chainsaw oil strapped on the front there, and the box on the back to carry the chainsaw and all kinds of other equipment. And of course I now have a little trailer. And that's how I got all of the stuff in for this cabin I'm about to show you. Okay, so the other little project I've been getting into, and now that that lower blind has been finished, I'm going to come back to this, and we're going to finish this off over the Christmas week. And this is going to be a rustic cabin. Again, it's kind of nice to be able to work the trees, the natural trees, into the design of this. And I'm going to run branches down the outside like that, but I think I am going to insulate the inside of this. And again, the idea, the trail is just down there, and I want this to become a wildlife corridor, and so there'll be a nice big window here, and you can sit and hopefully see some wonderful examples of wildlife. I've seen an otter down here. I'll post that little video in with this video, so you can see my otter friend. But this is a high spot, so we have no problem with water or rain. And but no, when this is done, there will be a bunk in here and a small fire that arrived the other day. So just by the door there, I've got a tent stove, and I can't wait to try that out and do some overnights right out here in the wilderness. Now I'm just going to be quiet for a second and you just take a listen. Absolutely silent. You know what a rarity that is on this planet today, to be able to sit in silence, surrounded by nature. Anyway, this the top of this rock is like a little island here, and by the time I'm finished clearing off all this deadfall, this will be quite the little camping area. Picnic table, camp ring, and you can fall asleep listening to the sound of the wind blowing through the pines. How wonderful is that? So yes, I'm really enjoying being on this property and exploring the bush and learning about the bush and the animals. Next year I am going to start hunting on the property, but it will be only for food. There'll be no gratuitous killing, and all the rest, everything else is completely safe. Not interested. Not interested. Yep. And I think the universe is cool with that. If you're doing some hunting for necessity and you give thanks to the universe for feeding you, I think that's okay. So I'm pretty pleased with the trail so far, and a little bit further to go, but yes, it's coming along. Now as this gets packed down, it will become a lot smoother. I'll be filling in the dips there as you can't see, but as I cut down trees, I will put some of the logs into some of the hollows there to smooth them out, and they'll break down over time and they'll fill in those spaces, and hopefully this will be a good long-term permanent trail. I may have to do something right here. This is a tricky bit right here. But when I walk down here in the morning, I see all kinds of deer tracks on this trail, so it is indeed getting used as a wildlife corridor, and that is absolutely perfect. That's my whole goal with this whole thing. So you can enjoy the nature, countryside, forest, breathe in all of those smells, those sounds. It's wonderful. And here we are, back at home. So really, other than the trail, all is well. The wood furnace is working well, all the pumps are working well, but the big thing that happened was I had somebody come out and consult on the batteries and the solar system here, and he gave me some pretty good news. He said the batteries are in, well, they're newer batteries, but they've really been abused. They've been allowed to run themselves completely down, and I now understand this gauge, this meter on the wall. Battery level, volts, amps, and amp hours removed. You see, I was just looking at the volts and charging the battery up by this number here, and what we have to do, this is the amp hours removed, and this needs to be basically close to zero as possible You'll never maintain it because it's always drawing out amp hours as you run different kinds of equipment, the pumps for the heating, so on and so forth. But it's now that I've learned how to charge it, you see it's going to tell me that my battery level is full. So we're good to go. This battery, which should last me a couple of days without having to use a generator, which I was putting on every single day, sometimes 2-3 times a day. But you know, I was just, like I say, I was going by the volts. I was bringing that up to around about 60 volts, turning the generator off, and not realizing that I had to, go by the amp hours removed. You see, when we first opened this up, this was minus 320, 330 amp hours. Now we're plus 22 amp hours. So that means the battery is stored up, it's full, and yeah, like I say, this was a huge revelation because I really didn't understand exactly what was going on with the solar situation. What a beautiful view out this window. This is a wonderful sunset window. Anyway, finding out those details, understanding what's going on, understanding what those meters are telling me, I'm now feeling an awful lot more confident about facing the winter. So I hope you enjoyed that little vlog update, and here we are rolling in on Christmas, just a few days away, and it looks like this is going to be it. We will have a white Christmas, but it won't be knee-deep white. There you go. And the forecast actually is for a fairly mild winter this year. We're going to be in a transition zone. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please like, comment and subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon and a happy and safe holidays. You take care. Stay safe, everyone. Bye. See ya.